bowl to Junko. "It doesn't seem like your sort of thing." "Well, I think it sounds like quite the adventure," her father, Morinobu, said as he lifted a piece of grilled mackerel with his chopsticks. Behind his glasses, his brown eyes were cheerful. Around the crowded table, everyone began talking at once. Junko's brothers and sisters, the 2 housekeepers who lived with them, and some of her father's employees from his printing company who also lived with them. "Will it be Mount Fuji? Or Mount Kita? Or some other mountain? My friend climbed Mount Fuji once." "What if you run into a bear?" "What if you run into lots of bears?" "What if everyone reaches the top except for you?" "Yeah, didn't you flunk gym class?" "Isn't mountain climbing a man's sport?" Junko lowered her head and concentrated on her rice as the conversation swirled around her. She was the second youngest of 7 children, and she often got lost in her thoughts. The pickled plum was extra salty and sour, the way she liked it, but she barely noticed. She was too busy answering questions in her head. Why shouldn't girls climb mountains? This is 1949, not medieval times, she thought. And so what if I'm not a super-duper mega athlete? I can still put one foot in front of the other. If I have to take tons of breaks, or if I'm the last one to reach the top, that's fine. At least I'll have tried my best. Junko trusted Mr. Watanabe, who was her favorite teacher. Actually, he was pretty much everyone's favorite teacher. He was different from the other instructors at their school, and it wasn't just his long, shaggy hair. On nice days, he often took their class to Castle Mountain for picnic lunches. There, under the flowering trees, he would tell his students thrilling tales about the mountains he'd climbed and the cities he'd visited. He would also describe his favorite books, like The Diary of Anne Frank and The Broken Commandment, and Junko and the others would cry at the sad parts, even if they didn't totally understand them. Mr. Watanabe was just about the smartest person she knew. If he believed she could hike to the top of a mountain, then she could hike to the top of a mountain, right? Chapter 2. Mr. Watanabe kept his promise. That summer, he took Junko and some of her classmates to the Nasu mountain range in Nikko National Park. They rode a train and a bus to get to their destination. Junko stared out the window at the blur of houses and farms they passed by. She had never traveled this far from home, so everything about the journey was exciting and new. The man selling bento box lunches at the train station, the leathery smell of the bus seats, the pretty countryside. They finally reached the base of the mountain range. Junko couldn't believe how enormous it was. It made Castle Mountain seem like an anthill. There were lots of other visitors there, too, carrying backpacks and walking sticks, just like they were. After a quick snack of clementines, rice crackers, and barley tea, the group from Miharu headed for the mountainside inn where they would spend the night. The big hike to the top of Asahi Peak wasn't until tomorrow. As they neared the inn, Hideo called out, "Hey, check it out! The ground is warm!" Junko knelt down and touched the ground. It was warm, and not just from the sun. The others knelt and touched the ground, too, gasping in awe. "This mountain range is volcanic," Mr. Watanabe explained. "There's hot water running beneath the surface." "Did you say volcanic? Will it erupt?" Junko asked. "No, it won't erupt. But it has created onsen, or hot springs, all over this place. Tourists come from everywhere to bathe in them." Mr. Watanabe was right. Junko had thought only cold water ran in rivers, but this part of Japan had hot water rivers, and hot water ponds, too. The area was full of them, and in fact, there were several onsen outside their inn. Grown-ups sat in them, sipping drinks out of wooden cups and looking relaxed and happy. That night at their inn, Junko's group cooked their own dinner. They had packed miso bean paste, rice, curry mix,